What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here, and this is Librarians, Season 4, Episodes 5 and 6, and The Bleeding Crown, and The Graves of Time. So, this season is going crazy! It's still a lot of fun. It's still really funny, kind of goofy at times too, but they are taking this season so much more serious than it has in the past. It's kind of ridiculous. So first of all, let's get into the first of these two episodes and the Bleeding Crown. So pretty straightforward as far as the story goes. You know, they go to a town and all the people in the town are turning old for some reason. And so they're trying to figure out what's going on. They run into a past librarian who apparently has jumped forward in time, as well as his arch nemesis who also jumped forward in time. And so now they get to work together with him, trying to stop the bad guy, trying to reverse the curse and all that, and keep everybody from getting old. But it doesn't just go the normal ways you think it would. It doesn't just say, let's have all the, Flynn freaking out moments because he's meeting one of his past librarian selves, one of the people that he looks up to, he admires, and he's fanboying and all that. It does a lot of that, but it also takes some different routes that I didn't expect it to go. First of all, as soon as this guy, Darrington Dare, what a name, right? As soon as he finds out that not just Flynn, but also the other three are also librarians, he kind of freaks out and he's just like, we can't have that. That's not allowed. You can't have more than one librarian. And then he sees Jenkins again. And he's like, did you not tell him why not? And so he gets out this book that apparently Flynn has read several times and makes these pages that were ripped out reappear, which tells him the story of these two librarian brothers who were brought in at the same time and started a civil war in the library. And so pretty much he's like, you can't have more than one librarian or it's going to repeat what happened then. And so he's pretty much telling Flynn, you got to get rid of them. And of course Flynn doesn't want to do that. He's like, no, I can't do that to them. So yeah, it's kind of tackling this issue of not having more than one librarian, which this season has already been building up, this whole kind of can you trust the library type of thing. And it's raising a lot of questions. Why did nobody say anything about Nicole? Why, when she was locked up, why didn't the library say anything like that? No answer. Having more than one librarian, why did the library invite 3 more people in if there's only supposed to be one librarian? Like, is it trying to start a civil war again? And it's a strange bunch of questions that really don't have an answer. So I love the fact that they're tackling some more challenging issues, and they're doing a very good job of it as well. As far as the episode goes, though, it pretty much goes how you think it would. You got this guy who never had any friends, battling this enemy, and it's just 1v1, and he's all focused on stopping him, and Flynn's like, no, help me, we've got people we need to save, and the guy's like, no, they don't matter, it's all about me, and all this stuff. And ultimately he realizes the power of friendship, which ends up saving his life. So it was kind of a little cheesy happy ending, but it worked for the show. That's what the Librarians is. It's pretty cheesy at times. So moving on from that episode, we end off on kind of a downer note, I guess, because he sends Flynn a message from the past after they find out that he lived a long, happy life after he reunited with his friends. He sends Flynn a note saying, I've thought about this for a long time, and as much as I respect you, I still have to stick to my word and say there can only ever be one librarian. I hope you will honor my dying wish and grant me that. So that's how it ends. It doesn't end on a happy note there. He's still saying, no, you can only have one librarian. And then we pick up the next episode, leaving pretty much right there. We have Jenkins and Flynn arguing about that. All of the other 3 librarians, Cassandra comes in, and then Stone comes in, and then Ezekiel comes in. And as they're all coming in, they're arguing about the tethering ceremony. They're arguing about Darrington's note about only having one librarian. And all the while, where's Eve? Where's Eve? Where's Eve? Nobody knows where she is. Ultimately, we see she has tracked down Nicole. And this episode just flies off the rails from here. And I'm just loving it. I love this episode so much because it was a lot of fun, and it was also intense and very serious. it did everything right, in my opinion. So you've got Eve tracking down Nicole, and Nicole has apparently hidden all these different artifacts in her grave sites, which she's trying to track down this knife, which apparently can kill an immortal. Well, of course, Jenkins immediately thinks, well, she's trying to kill me for revenge for what I did to her. And then, of course, they're just kind of like, yeah, probably. So we see all of this going on where they're tracking down the different artifacts. Nicole is trying to leave Eve behind because she doesn't really trust Eve to help her. She thinks she's better off on her own, while Eve is like, no, you need my help. And so there's a little bit of back and forth between them, which is pretty funny, until eventually they do track down where the knife is going to be held. And of course, Flynn Jenkins shows up right at that time too. So they finally meet up right as they're getting attacked by some men who've also been trying to track down all this stuff. And so we find out from the guy who's telling Eve and Jenkins that apparently Nicole helped Rasputin harm his family, like destroy his family. And so, of course, they trust him and instantly distrust Nicole. So then once they find Nicole and Flynn, they capture them and they're just like, no, you can't trust her. And then open it up and there's the knife and Jenkins is like, she was trying to kill me. And then Nicole reveals, no, I was trying to kill him, talking about the older guy who is pretty goofy. He's like the only thing that didn't sit right with me about this episode, because the rest of it was pretty serious and very well done. And he was just he talks very high pitch and looked very old and scraggly. And he kind of looks like intimidating when you first see him, and all of a sudden like this very high pitched voice comes out of him. And I'm just like, what is this? I realize they try to be goofy sometimes, but it was overly goofy. But she reveals that apparently he's Rasputin. Somehow he managed to survive and stay alive in this old body. And of course, nobody really believes her. And so Jenkins is trying to decide, do I believe her, do I not? Well, as he's sitting there with the knife, the old guy grabs the knife and stabs Nicole. And all of a sudden absorbs her immortality and becomes Rasputin again. And so it's just like, holy crap, what's going on now? So Jenkins takes Nicole back to the library to try to revive her if he can. Meanwhile, of course, Flynn and Eve have to stop Rasputin and not let his evil take over the world. And so they find a way to stop him. And then they get back to the library, and Jenkins has her on this table, and he's having Stone read this poem that Flynn knows about. And I can't remember what it's called now. It was some sort of like transference ceremony there, though. And as he's reading it, Jenkins puts his hands in these plants that start wrapping its way around Nicole's head. And they're just like, what's going on? And Flynn's like, he's transferring his own immortality to her. And he's just like, Jenkins, are you sure? And he's like, it's my fault that she's like this. Stone, finish the sanctuary, finish the service or whatever it's called. Words are not really coming to me today. It just, this whole scene, I mean, the music is very emotional, but as soon as he says that, Stone all of a sudden like gets really watery eyes. And Christian Kane, I know, is a very good actor because I've seen him in some other shows. But yeah, it gets very emotional. He looks like he's about to cry. Cassandra and Ezekiel look just distraught. Flynn and Eve are both just like, Jenkins, are you sure? Like, do you really want to do this? Do you want to become mortal? And Stone's even like, no, I'm not doing it. And it takes Flynn saying, just read it, finish it, for him to finally do it. I'm just like, this is killing me. I'm really, what is going on? The Librarians is not supposed to be this sad. What is happening now? And yeah, he transfers his immortality to Nicole and saves her life. And I'm just like, this is, oh my gosh, this season has just gotten so crazy, in my opinion. The insanity, the goofiness is practically gone. We do have some goofy moments here and there. I mean, the one with Darrington Dare seeing Flynn be all fanboy about it. I mean, it is extremely goofy. They're in this bar, and Darrington's like fixing up drinks, and Flynn's just sitting there at the bar like this, just looking at him. Just like, that's the goofy Librarians that I know. But then you get to this episode, and it's actually something that makes you think. It's something that challenges you. It's really something that's hard to grasp. Jenkins just gave away his immortality. He is now immortal. It's like, wow, this is crazy. So, yeah, the episode ends with one more big shock because frankly, Jenkins giving away his immortality was not a big enough shock for the show, apparently. Yeah, we have Flynn decides to leave. Just out of nowhere. I mean, it has sort of been building up to this. They were talking about the tethering ceremony. Even Eve is just like, am I going to be able to be immortal? Because she's talking to Nicole, who's talking about her, how she's had to go through a lot of people dying around her while she doesn't, which they're tackling it very well. It's not something funny. It's not like, immortality is hilarious. No, it's really hard. When you're immortal and people you love aren't, they die, you stay alive. That's hard to go through time and time and time again. She's had to live for 300 years, I think they said. So yeah, I can imagine it's got to be tough. And so they're dealing with it. They're actually talking about this and talking about the struggles of it. And the funny thing is that we only see it between her and Eve. With Jenkins and Flynn, Jenkins says something about how being immortal is a struggle, but they don't really go in depth like Eve and Nicole do. And so at the end of the episode, whenever Flynn leaves, you start to realize that he sees through Jenkins' eyes just how tough immortality can be. And it's almost like he realizes he's not going to be able to do it. And so Jenkins holds out his hand, and in his hand is the little ring that's supposed to be a part of the tethering ceremony. And he says he packed up his stuff and left. The only thing he left behind was this ring for the tethering ceremony. I think it means he's quit the library. He's not coming back. I'm just like, wow. Like, this season has already taken so many crazy turns. It's already done so good at playing with my expectations and also raising some challenging questions, making me think about, is the library to be trusted? Are you going to be able to believe that the library is going to help in the end? I mean, so many good topics to discuss. And now they're bringing out challenging theories. They're bringing out, talking about immortality. Instead of just making it this fun thing, they're actually talking about the struggles of immortality. And it's handling it very well, in my opinion. They're doing a very good job of treating not only the story, but also the morals of the story with a lot of respect. And I'm loving it. It has been by far the best season so far. And what's funny is there's no huge story going on behind the scenes. In all the other seasons there's been we've got, first season it was the bad guys they're trying to stop. I can't remember the name of the group yet right now. The second season was all about, what was it called? I can't remember now. The wizard from one of Shakespeare's plays. I can't remember his name now, but it was all about stopping him. And then last season was all about, Apep and trying to stop him. So each season has kind of had this big bad person that you're trying to stop. You're trying to, save the world from this person and using the library to help. Well, this season, there hasn't really been some big bad guy to stop, but they're almost treating the library like it might be the bad guy you got to stop at the end of the season. And so it's just been such a good flowing narrative so far, and I've loved it. It has been a really good season. I'm going to try to get caught up if I can. There are 4 more episodes left before I'm caught up, and thankfully there's actually 12 episodes this season instead of 10, at least from what I could see on IMDb. So I'm looking forward to that, having 2 more episodes to go through. That's exciting. But yeah, so I'm not sure, depending on how these 4 episodes go, because these first 6 were 2 in one night, 2 in one night, 2 in one night. If these 4 episodes are all, maybe because Flynn is left, maybe they're going to focus a little bit more on episode by episode stuff. If that's the case, I may be able to get through all 4 episodes and then do a review. But if it's pretty story heavy, if there's still a lot of stuff they're talking about, I'm probably going to stick to the 2 episode thing. But I'm hoping to get through with it tonight, be done with the Librarians, be caught up on it, so that way I can focus on other shows that I got to get caught up on as well. So still got a lot to go, but these 2 episodes were really fantastic. So hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I did. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What were your thoughts on these episodes? Let me know. We can talk about and discuss all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future Librarians reviews, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.